Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Too Opinionated, where today I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by an actual supermodel, actress, host, Lana Asanin. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Hey, all right. I tell you what, I was stressing it, but not too bad.
It's,
Welcome,
it's
Lana.
okay.
Welcome.
Listen, you're not the first one. I know my last name is a bit difficult, but I mean, I had people calling me assassin. I mean, that's
I kind of like that one.
you know what? My one of my website, I called it Green-Eyed Assassin. Somebody told me this is a great name, so I'm like, hey, I like
That
that.
is a great name. You should go with that. Now
Yeah.
you were born in Frankfurt, Germany. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
That's I'm not the best with geography, but my brother works in, let me think, Wiesbaden.
Oh my God, that's very close.
That's very close. That's what
Yes,
I thought.
it is.
So we were supposed to go visit him this summer, and of course,
Yeah,
with everything that happened, we
yeah.
didn't get to go over. But I saw that Frankfurt, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's close to where he's at. So small world.
It is. Wiesbaden is about 20 minutes, but it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful city or a little town, has a lot of history. Really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, and it's from the videos that he sent home. It looks very similar to, we're in West Virginia, and it looks very similar to the mountain area that we have here,
Oh,
which
it
I thought
does?
it does. I thought that was really interesting. So I
Oh,
was like, well,
well,
he went across the world and ended up in the same place, basically.
oh my God, that would be already, like you see, I've never been to Virginia, so now, like now I know if it looks
Now
like
you
it
know,
is.
if you ever come through, you'll know.
I'd love to once everything is open and back to normal.
Yeah, yeah, you got to visit. You got to visit. It's beautiful. So my understanding is, I got lots of questions, but I'll start with this: that you
Okay.
speak a lot of different languages. So what all different languages do you speak?
Well, I since I grew up in Germany, obviously I speak German.
Yeah.
Uh, but I back in school, I had English, I had French, I had Spanish, and then because my
Wow.
parents are from Serbia, that's from the Balkan area.
Yeah.
It used to be, I don't know if people know a little bit about the history, but back in the days it used to be Yugoslavia,
Right.
and then we had Slovenia, we had Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia Herzegovina, and wait, Slovenia, Bosnia Herzegovina, like um, and so then they divided. So pretty much now they're all individual countries.
Right.
So, and I had to learn that language, Serbian, and I had to go to a private school, and it wasn't easy. I tell you that it wasn't easy because I mean I did love speaking different languages, and it's kind of normal when you come from Europe, because that's you can choose your languages if you
Right.
want to. You can choose Italian, it's up to you, but you definitely have to choose two languages on top of what you're speaking.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
That's
little
impressive.
different here. I know it's a little different. And honestly, I wish they would teach that in school and give people an opportunity to choose different languages,
Yeah.
because it does help later on. And especially if you travel, and
Right.
it's nice to know a lot of different things. But
Yeah.
it was definitely a little difficult because when I was modeling, I used to travel all around Europe, and I will never forget when I was in Spain and I was with my other models there, and my mom used to call me, and I was like, I spoke to her in Spanish, English, and everything. She's like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, "Mom, I'm sorry, I'm screwing everything up."
Oh, it's hilarious. What was the hardest language to learn?
The hardest was definitely French. French
Yeah.
is not easy, but once you have the grammar, the foundation,
Right.
it's definitely easy. So I haven't spoken that language in so many years, but if I were to go to France, I would say it takes me about 6 months, and I would be like fluent in it, like
Yeah.
completely having a conversation, understanding, and yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. And it had to help while you were traveling.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, when I before what I did, we had it was called an exchange student. So I would travel. We had opportunities, to travel. That's how they wanted us to learn about the language.
Right.
So they sent you out to France. I went to France for 2 weeks, and I was staying there with this girl who only spoke French and all the families. So I had no choice but to learn French. And it was really nice. And then she came and visited me, and she had to learn. So this is how I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, to
Yeah.
learn a different language, sending out your children to another country. I think it's
Yeah, I
nice.
love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, so you started modeling at a fairly young age.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that, and let me know what what caused you to want to get into modeling, and how did you get into it?
Well, well, first and foremost, how I got, I mean, when I was like back in school, I was like into sports. I loved sports.
Yeah.
I was doing, I was a gymnast. I was one of the best runner in school. I was doing trampoline. I don't know if you know that
Oh yeah.
trampoline.
Yeah.
And I was competing, like I was doing synchronical, trampoline with another person. And then I was competing,
Oh,
and I did
I didn't even
third.
know that was a thing.
Yeah, and I did third
Yeah,
place, second place. I didn't do the first, but I did twice second. So that was
that's
a nice
pretty good.
accomplishment. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I also did. I was in a group or something, with about 10 girls, and we were dancing. So we were competing in dancing. So I did that as well. And I think, like coming from that world, I always wanted to be like, I actually wanted to compete in the Olympics. That's what I wanted to do. But then my
Yeah.
mom said like, oh no, your grades are not great, because I literally didn't care about the rest. All I wanted to do is like be into sports. So I was kind of I wouldn't say tomboy, but I wasn't like what you see girls nowadays, when you see
Right.
them young, they look like they're grown up. I wasn't like that. I was very shy. I would wear sneakers. I would never wear like high heels. And no, it's true. It's true. I know people like they can't even, understand, because now when they see me now, it's like, yeah, well, you learn. And then
That's
what
right.
happened at 16 or at 16, my mom, she literally, like, without my knowledge, enrolled me into a beauty pageant. So I didn't know anything. so, so I get this letter, and she's like, well, you know what? You have to learn how to walk in high heels. I'm like, why? She said, because I just enrolled you into a beauty pageant and you got accepted. I was like, oh my God. I said, but I don't know how to do that.
Thanks, Mom.
So I had to literally learn. It was hysterical. I mean, I was falling left and right, and like hurting myself with high heels. It was a lot of fun. But at the end, I accomplished it, and it was a process. It wasn't that
Yeah.
easy. Um, and then I competed. I started, with competition,
Yep.
and competed in my town, doing the Miss Frankfurt.
Oh, okay.
I did that twice, and then from there on, I think I really got to like that kind of world, with modeling
Right.
and everything. It really got to me. Before it wasn't like that, but I started liking it a lot. And then there was like in my town, I was dating this kind of supermodel back then, and I didn't know he was pretty hot. He was like one of the best supermodels, Italian, good
Oh,
looking.
wow.
Um, yeah, I mean, I was like, why did he choose me? I mean, like I wasn't a model, but I guess it happened. So, and then we were sitting in this coffee shop, and this photographer, he had a meeting with the photographer, and the photographer goes like, hey, what about you? Why don't you model? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not that tall. He's like, I don't like that. And he said, no, you should try it. He said, let me take pictures of you and let's see. And then at that time, my boyfriend is like, no, try it out. So I did. So I did my first photo shoots and it came out really amazing. And
Yeah.
it was at 16. Yeah, well, right after that beauty pageant. And then he, like pretty much took me to this agency. And in Germany, they're very tough, when it comes to, because they had this really high-end supermodels from all over the world.
Right.
And like really like when I'm talking supermodels being on covers of Vogue, Cosmopolitan, at that time Harper's Bazaar and whatever they have.
Right.
And so I walked in and she looked at me up and down. She's like, well, you're not that tall. I was like,
I tried to tell him.
I felt so embarrassed. Like, I was shy. I literally was shy. And it's like, okay, I don't know what to say. I was like, and I was thinking, why did he take me here?
Right.
But then she was like, you know what? But I do like your face. I really like your face. I like your body. Let's just try it out. You could be one of our first, little like shorter models. I'm not that short, but for them it's short. 5,
Right.
6.5 is for them short because they have models that are 5'9.5" to 10. So
yeah, they're tall.
they're very tall. So that's what I'm saying. And yeah, so I started off, and then my first jobs back, they used to have this really thick catalogs. And so I modeled all catalogs. I was doing like lifestyle. I was doing, I was doing some bikini stuff, and yeah, different kinds of things. And I really I started working so much, and they were like, "Hey, I'm making them big bucks."
Yeah, that's right.
That's all they cared. And then the rest was history. That's how I got in. And they really loved me, and I worked with them for so many years. And I started to have so many clients. And I still remember, it's funny because I still have those receipts, like on my paperwork. And
Yeah.
just like about 2 weeks, I was going through my paperwork and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I said, I was making a lot of money back then.
Well, you don't realize it at the time.
No, but you know what? It was also a little different, to be honest. Like the pay was different too. And they didn't have the euro. It was still the Deutschmark.
Right.
So, but it was a lot. I mean, I'm talking about, monthly, it was like around 15 grand easily.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good money.
That's pretty good money, right? For
Yeah.
someone who's like only 16, 17. Yeah. Yeah. So that was, that's how I started. Exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. And from there, I know you were on a bunch of covers yourself, and I want to show a few of those here in a minute. But I wanted to ask you, how does that work? How once you become a model, how do these magazines and different publications, how do they know that they want you for their publication? How does your photo, your identity, how's that get out there?
Oh, okay. So we used to have, I don't know if they still have it, or, if they like now with this technology is different, but we used to have a so-called set card. It's like a,
Yeah. Okay.
flyer, or, or yeah, like a flyer. And so on the front one, you have your headshot.
Right.
And when you turn it, when you flip it around, you have 4 different pictures. You can have 6, but they, pretty much 4 is enough. Different pictures, whether it's like,
Right.
you show your body in a bikini, like some fashion, some lifestyle, some beauty. So different kind of, because, so you can have, depending on which client
What they're looking for. Yeah.
exactly. And then you have all your measurements in detail, your height, your your waistline, and shoe size and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess now it's all probably online, but back then you probably had to send the cards to them.
Right. I think, what they still have in some agencies, they do, but I think now it's it's obviously changing with time, that you can send it over and they have everything on computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely different. But yeah, that's how you got booked. So let's say a client was calling the agency, says like, okay, I'm having a photo shoot for beauty, and it's like,
Yeah.
can you send me a couple girls or a few girls? So my agency, they already know, they're so professional in their jobs.
Right.
They actually know, they have their people, and their mind is like, oh, I like her, she could be for that. So they send out the set cards, and the client pretty much starts booking.
Yeah.
So
Chooses from there.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I always wondered how that worked, because you got to make a contact somehow.
Yeah, I mean, what was funny also, like I had so many funny moments, obviously, in my life. So, and wanted to share that because, so I had this set card, and because I have so many different looks.
Yeah.
And I used to be called chameleon because I change all the time, whether it's my hair, depending on, my makeup. I literally look different. Like, you see me
Yeah,
now.
you do. You sent so many pictures over, and you do. You look almost like a different person in some of them.
Exactly. And even in videos when I do that, people are like, oh my God. And I say, yeah, I can transform into a complete different person. So I had this, so my image was chameleon. And so I had this one set card, and back I had like a picture with blonde hair. I was blonde at some point,
Oh,
but
wow.
I colored my hair completely like platinum blonde. It was blonde. Then I had a picture with curly hair. Then I had a picture with dark hair. I mean, there was 4 different pictures. So my agency sent it out, and it was so funny. So this client goes like, photographer is like, well, I kind of like, you know what? I want to book all 4 girls. And my agency called me, and they were laughing. It's like, guess what? Somebody wants to book you 4 times. I said, what do you mean? It's like, well, he likes all 4 pictures.
You get 4 times the pay that way.
I mean, I think it's kind of like a beauty. If you can transform into a different person, I think it's in modeling. I think it's great because you can, I mean, imagine you can have so many different jobs.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're very versatile. That's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I believe in that. Even like, for commercials, I feel like if you have that look where you can look different,
Yeah.
I think it's better than if you have just one look. That's just my opinion. So
No, I completely could see where that would be really useful. Well,
yeah.
let's see. I'm not the best at sharing, but let's see if I can pull up some of these great
Okay.
covers, because some of them are so good. Let's see. I want this one. Bring that up. All right. So now we got a whole bunch.
Oh wow.
Let's see if we can get different looks here.
Okay, so that was I did a movie premiere, and I was acting, and it's called New York Rooftop Story. You can actually go online and find it, NYC Rooftop Story. And I was playing Misha, who was a supermodel, and it's a funny, cute little comedy,
Yeah.
drama kind of thing. And so I was one of the main cast. That was a premiere night.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Let's see. And here's some articles.
So that was like, we didn't get to that point yet, but that's when I left Europe and I went to Asia, and this was my first article. So they were talking about me.
Oh yeah. I want to hear all about that. But
we can get to that. But that's my first article, and it was like a biggest newspaper. Yeah, this is just me being me.
Yeah, I like that picture though. That's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I like that shirt.
Let's see. Let me get down here. Let me scroll down. That's where I want to go, I think. Oh, look at the hat.
Yeah, that was when I had short hair. That's also like when I was in Asia, I changed my look. I just wanted something different, chopped it off, and I was working out really hard. Like I was doing Pilates and then boxing and kickboxing and all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful look. I really like that hairstyle.
I like that too. And I'm actually, right now I am in the process, I'm working out again, and I'm not sure if I can go back to what I was, but
it doesn't look like you're very far off now.
No, not like, it's oh, this was when Wilder, everybody knows that rise.
Oh yeah, I've seen this poster before, and I just didn't realize that was you on it.
Oh, nobody did. So it was did that. We did a couple. This is not the only poster. We did about 4 or 5, and then we did CDs, you know, the DVDs, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, on the DVD, it's the same picture. And like I said before, I have about 4 or 5, but I was never really in the movie. And a lot of people thought I was in the movie. I said, no, they just booked me, like just like the other girl. We were just doing the photo shoot. But
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, that's kind of neat though. That's interesting that they do it that way. I thought that was really neat. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Explain this one.
So that was, I know, right? Well, I'm a superhero.
I know, that is so cool.
Yeah, so I was asked while I was in Asia, I was asked to, well, they contacted me and I said, like, you know, they're looking for a superhero. And at that time, because I was on TV a lot, like 24/7, and
Yeah.
I got my fame. And they called me and they said, like, well, you know what, we're having this new story, and I think you would be perfect for that. So they created this this character. And in the beginning it wasn't really, there was a little they were a little off, you know, with my face and everything, so we kind of
Right.
worked together on it. And so I thought it was kind of cool.
Was it kind of like a comic book?
Yeah, it was like a comic, but also, you know, like those superhero, those what was it, the Marvel, like, you know, this,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I would love that. I need somebody to do that for me.
Oh my God, it would be, you know, like, I think it's amazing. But I think now would be fun to do something with comedy, because people need laughters in their life, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely the
So
truth.
and I think it's nice. I mean, just to see that. This is Belfem magazine. That's from New York. And that's an online magazine, but you can actually get a hard copy as well. When you go on that website, you can just punch in that name and you can order it if you like. Um,
I think this was of all the pictures you sent, I think this was my favorite. I
Oh,
really
thank you
really
so
like
much.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thank you. I appreciate it. So this was really nice. And then basically, so I'm on the cover and I'm pretty much in the whole magazine. Like, so
It's your magazine.
it's like I was like, it's funny because he literally I have about 8 pages, like pictures and write-ups and, you know, my whole story about me. But then I also had a lifestyle. That was like 2 years ago. I kind of put a hold on it, but I started writing, and it was
Oh wow.
yeah, it was called Lana's Lifestyle. So I started writing about lifestyle, whether it's going to a nice restaurant, or whether it's about clothing, you know, like a designer, or hair. So I started writing, and I never knew that I had it in me to write. So I discovered some talent I never knew I had.
You know, I have found, we interview a lot of people, and I have found that talented people tend to be talented in a lot of different, especially artistic pursuits. So that doesn't surprise me that you're multi-talented.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to be creative. But I like I said, I didn't know that sometimes it takes time. It doesn't happen
Yeah,
overnight, and it's just, yeah. So
that's awesome. Let's look at a few more.
thank you.
Oh, look, there you are holding yourself.
Yeah, so that was my lifestyle channel. So I, like as I
Yeah.
said before, I was writing, but I also created a video. So because I back like about 2-3 years ago, I worked with a friend of mine who now moved back to Asia, to the Philippines. So we worked together, and he was doing all the video stuff because I'm not really good with that.
Yeah.
Um, and so this was a fashion show. And Nancy Wu, she is a famous fashion designer from Los
Yeah.
Angeles. And she came out here, and she showed her beautiful creation. And we have this picture. I didn't really send it to you, but I have a picture with her and me next to the guy who actually created the show, and we both
Yeah.
are on the magazine, so it was really fun. So we
Yeah,
posed.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I know. So that was my lifestyle show, and you can actually, as you see, it's called RCAT Media. So when you go
Yeah.
on Google RCAT Media, then you will see Lana lifestyle, and you can watch about 5 different videos, and you can also read like what I wrote. So I did a little
Oh,
blog
that's awesome.
about it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I missed that, and I think I'm going to go back to it. So
You should. You should totally do that.
oh yeah, I love hosting. I love it, and I was thinking of
There you're interviewing.
yeah, I was, oh my God. Now, I don't quote me. I'm like really bad with names, and I don't want to mess up, but these were all like NFL, basketball, like boxing and all kinds of like big
Wow.
athletes, like, young, up and coming, but very professional athletes. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
oh, I had
great.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, you look comfortable.
Oh yeah, they were amazing, amazing, and we had like they came up with this wine that was really like delicious. It was from Africa, from
Oh,
Africa.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we like I have that picture, but I didn't send it to you. And I have a picture where I'm posing with the wine and with all the boys around it. So yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. All right, I'm going to come out of here for a minute. Oh, that's yeah. You had so many great pictures, and yeah, if you Google just your name, hundreds of pictures come up.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
everywhere.
there's a lot of older pictures. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have to like that anymore. You know what? It is what it is.
So yeah, you mentioned Asia several times, and I know the Philippines especially. You were everywhere basically, and on TV, in movies. You were hosting, you were modeling. It just seemed like you were all over the place. How did that come about, and how did it turn into this kind of cultural thing where you became just this big huge star?
Well, as I said before, so once I modeled in Europe, and I
Hmm.
modeled in Germany, in Switzerland. I went to Spain. I
Yeah.
went to Italy. I went to France. I went to England. So yeah, I know I was modeling all over the
You're
place.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, but don't get me wrong. I finished school as well, so it's not like I
Yeah.
just didn't do anything. I did. I actually have a degree in import export in the fashion industry, so I did that.
Wow.
And so I went to a business school for 2 years. So I was doing that, and I was working. So I did both.
Yeah, it's
But then,
impressive.
yeah, like yeah, my mom, she would have never let me just go like that. I
Yay,
was
mom.
I was a rebel. I'm like, I just want to go out there and
That's
travel. She's
right.
like, finish
Nope.
school.
That's right. You got to stay in school. That's
Yeah,
good advice.
yeah. I come from a very like like old school fashion, like strict family, but it it was fine. It was fine to be
Yeah.
strict. It didn't. It did. It was good. So going back to it, and when I started working, and I remember, my boss. I started taking a few days off, and I took days off because I was actually having another job.
Yeah.
So I told him I was actually, I'm sorry to lie to you. I told him I was sick. I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not feeling too well. I'm a little sick. So, and can I just take a day off?
That's right.
Meanwhile, I'm not sick. I'm actually out there doing photo shoots, like strike a pose. So it was, yeah, like I said, rebel.
That's
So,
right.
but he was so sweet. He said at some point, he said, listen, because I told him, I said, I don't know, like I kind of want to try out, and see the world. I
Yeah.
don't, it's not for me to be in an office and sit there. It wasn't me. It was never me.
Sure.
And he said, listen, he said, you know what? I love you, adore you, and you're such a great worker. But he said, I totally understand. You're young. Go out there and see the world, because it's your chance right now.
That's
So
right.
he gave me a really nice, what do you call this? Like recommendation, I think, just in
Yeah.
case in case if it doesn't work out with my modeling, and I want to go back to work, I had something to show, and it
That's
was
right.
beautiful. Yeah. And he just said, like, I wish you the best. And he said, I hope to see you again. But it never happened because Lana went like, whoosh.
That's right.
She
Never
went all
came back.
into the world. So I went from Europe, and then I had this opportunity. Somebody called my agency and says, like, hey, why don't you try and go to I apologize, maybe sometimes it's a little dark, you let me
Oh,
know.
we can see. Yeah, we can see. You're good.
Okay, good. If it's, so somebody called my agency and said, like, why doesn't she go to Asia, because it would be a great opportunity for
Yeah.
her. I mean, especially with her height, it's like perfect, and she can make so much money out there. And that's exactly what happened. So I flew. My first one was Thailand. So I
Oh,
went to,
wow. Okay.
yeah, that was nice. I stayed in Thailand for a year. So
Really?
yeah, I lived in Thailand, and I traveled while I was in Thailand. I traveled to Hong Kong, and I traveled to Singapore.
Okay. Yeah, you
And
really have been everywhere.
I had crazy. It's funny. I had crazies. I mean, I guess now it doesn't really matter, but it's like I can tell the story because it's funny to me now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what? So back, like back in the days, no, like I sound like it's super far, but it's not that far. But it's still like,
It's been
it's
a little while. Yeah.
been a while. So yeah. So what happens when you go to another country? You need to get your visa, right?
Yes.
Obviously. So which I had, but you can only have it for a certain amount of time. And
Right.
then you like have to come up with stories like, why are you staying? Okay, so I was in Thailand and I was modeling. I had so many jobs, unbelievable, because I just had like I did all like pretty much every commercial. I was on every cover. I was featured everywhere. Like I was like
Right.
overfloating the country with my face, like pretty much. But that's how they work. Like you're like a fresh face. Once you're a
Yeah.
fresh face, everybody wants you. Everybody. They're like, I want to do this. I did fashion shows. I mean, you name it, I did it all.
I need to get over there because my face would be really fresh right now. I guarantee nobody has seen it yet. I need to get to Asia.
You do. You do. So yeah, so and then okay, so and then I did it pretty much. I did it all, as I said, and then while I was traveling to Hong Kong, because in Hong Kong it was crazy. I did a lot of lingerie,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like anything sexy, which it's not Victoria's Secret. It was very
Right.
conservative.
Okay.
And they are very conservative, if I tell you that. So when you go on an audition, they're like, oh, I don't like that. Why do you have a mall like that? Ooh, that's like, Like, I was like it's crazy. You have to be like completely perfect. You can't have any scars and nothing.
Oh, okay, I'm out.
I'm not kidding. No. And
Yeah, that would be hard. I think that would be it'd be difficult on your self-esteem, I think.
yeah, I mean, it was a little hard because you get a little nervous and you get
Yeah.
like, you don't really have confidence, with
Right.
yourself because you get judged pretty much,
Right.
And on top of that also, they in especially in Hong Kong, maybe it has changed. I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad, but it's like, back there they wanted like somebody who was really light skinned.
Right.
So
Right.
I had to buy whitening cream. I never did that before
Really?
in my life. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's weird.
yeah. So they don't like you to be tan whatsoever. It's they don't like that. And they don't like that even in Asia, like in certain countries. Japan is a little different. Japan is more advanced, but they don't, like I said, again, they didn't like it back then. It might have
Right.
changed.
Right. That's right. That's right. It's been a little while.
Yeah, but I had to buy whitening cream because I wasn't white enough. so,
Yeah.
so I was like, but I like my color. Okay. So I like, as I said, going back to Hong Kong. So I would fly to Hong Kong and I would model a lot, right? And I
Right.
get so many jobs. But then I overstayed. So I'm like, what do I do now? So my agency, they're like, we have to come up with a story. I was like, okay, what do we do? So they pretty much send me with one of their friends, with a guy. And the story was that I'm getting engaged.
Okay.
So we had to come up and we had to like, be on the same page because they were, like literally like asking us questions.
Right.
Not in the same room. So we're like, okay, we can't screw this up right now. Okay, so all right, so what do we do? Okay, we're getting engaged. Hey, it worked, and I got an extension, and I was able to, stay longer and work. I mean,
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. You got to do what you got to do, I guess.
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like it's like I'm
Yeah.
not doing it now, but I don't suggest people to do that, please.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try it at home. But you know what? You got to find ways. You got to find ways
Right.
because it was about survival, like road, and I had to make money, and so.
Hey, that's right. That's right. So from there, did you go to the Philippines from there?
Yes. So, and then, I worked a little bit in Singapore as well. Singapore
Yeah.
is beautiful, very beautiful,
Yeah, I've
super,
heard that.
super, yeah, it's super clean, like
Oh,
literally,
wow.
yeah. There is no, you cannot chew any gum, and they don't even sell any gums. You actually get a fine if you're like spitting out a gum or spitting out cigarette butts. You get a fine for that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good. Yeah. We should do that here.
Yeah, and it's like it's not. It was like $500 or something. It's not. Yeah. So we should do that here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the city. I mean, especially New York, it would be so much cleaner. I mean,
Yeah. It would help.
it would help. So, and then I flew, like, cause I worked with one. So there's one agency, and it's like a chain, like a
Yeah.
franchise, and they have the same agency in pretty much every Asian country. So they work together. So I was like,
Okay.
passing from one country to another. They're kind of like, we're done with you. Go to the other country. I was like, oh, thanks. So they just get rid of you. I was like, okay, we've seen enough of you. I'm like, okay,
All
so.
right.
And so I went to the Philippines, and I still remember when my agency said Philippines. Back then, I didn't know that Philippines was actually had a city, because all I knew, Philippines is known for like diving, snorkeling, and
Yeah.
has,
That's
it's a
right.
beautiful. It has about over 7,000 islands that are undiscovered, and you can't even see them on the map. They're so tiny.
Really?
Yeah, but you know how it is when it's undiscovered. It's a beautiful island because
That's
there's
right.
nobody trashing it with like garbage and stuff.
When
It's
nobody's screwing it up.
the only thing what you don't have is electricity. But hey, it's kind of like that movie. What was it with Tom Hanks who got like
Oh,
stranded on?
Castaway. Yeah.
Pretty much. So, and so going back, what was I saying now? Lost my train of
So
thought.
you came to the Philippines.
Okay, yes, I came to the Philippines. Thank you. And I remember my agency says like, yeah, go to the Philippines. I said, why would you send me to an island? I said, are you trying to get rid of me? Because what am I going to do there? She's like, and she's like, no, Lana, they actually have a city. I said, really? I said, I don't know that.
That's right. Well, you got to learn.
Yeah, so much for, like geography, right? So, yeah, and then I flew to the Philippines, and there was actually really a city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Was that Manila? Is that where you were at?
yes, Manila, and I was
Yeah.
staying in Makati. That's the
Oh, okay.
yeah, main city, and that's where pretty much every foreigner stays there.
Right.
People come do business, and it's the safest place to stay because it is a
Right.
third world country, so you want to be careful where where you're living, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah. And I didn't really, I had a car, but I didn't really drive. What was really great about the Philippines, and I kind of missed that because that's the beauty of living in a third world country, is that everything is so cheap,
Sure. Yeah.
very inexpensive, and you can literally, with $1,000, you can be the queen of Manila. You You can't. It's that cheap. I mean, it's not. When I think about it now, it's like, and I live in New York. It's crazy. You can't do
Oh, I
anything
know.
with $1,000 out here.
No, no, that's right. It does not go very far.
Oh God, you can't even pay your rent.
Well, is that where you got into films or into acting, or had you done that
Yeah.
previously?
So I started off as a model there. And once I got there, again, the first week I was going on auditions, or castings, actually, sorry,
Yeah,
because for model, I say castings. And when you're an actor, you say auditions. So
that's right.
I did a lot of castings, for magazines, for fashion shows, and for all kinds of stuff. And again, the second week, I was just booked every day. And
Yeah.
again, I did it all, anything, pretty much everything. It was a lot of fun. Trust me, a lot of fun. The only thing that was a little annoying, and I'm sure a lot of Filipinos agree with me, and they know that, timing. Oh boy,
Yeah,
timing
timing.
is like, you say 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Nothing is
Ish.
ready. That was like, and
That's that's where I need to go, because I am definitely an ish, 12-ish.
I love my Filipino friends, and I'm sure they're gonna laugh when they hear that, because they know that timing. They're never good on time, never. So, which wasn't really good for me, because I got so used to it that
Right.
when I was going to another country, back to Germany, I was always late, and
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. So that wasn't
You're
good.
on Filipino time.
It's a Filipino time, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then I started doing all these different shows, and then did I was doing a famous commercial, and it was for Nescafe.
Oh yeah, Nescafe.
Yeah, and I did also, which made me basically famous, the Nescafe and the Shell gas station, because I was
Yeah.
in a bikini.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in a bikini, like, pumping the gas. No.
I wondered what you were doing. You said it was a Shell commercial.
No, well, that's what I thought I was gonna do, but actually that would have been fun, right? But hey, that's actually reminded me, they should have that in the States. They should have that. That would be a great advertisement, don't you
There,
agree?
there you go.
A girl in a bikini pumping the gas. Hey.
It would get some views.
Well, it's like kind of like they have the what is it for the burgers, and they had this girl in a
Yeah.
bikini.
Oh, yeah. Right. Right. What was that? I
Big,
want to say Hardee's, but it's not Hardee's. It's
I
the
think it
other
was Big
company.
Mac. Big Mac,
Yeah.
maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. So so I did these two commercials, and the commercial director, invited me to this like celebrity party, and he said, "You
Yeah.
want to come along?" I said, "Okay." So I tagged along, and it was a huge party. It was all like the celebrities from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And there was this lady, she literally, she knew my friend who was a commercial director, and she approached me and she said, "Hey, would you like to be on TV?" And I said, "But I don't speak Filipino." She said, "It's okay. Don't worry." It's like, "You're pretty. We'll make it happen." And I was like, I was like, okay. I mean, I'm just like, I'm a good sports. I try everything. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Why not? So I did my so she said, let's try it out. So she took me to this it's like a new, what do you call it? Variety show. It's a
Yeah.
variety show, and believe it or not, it's still on TV, and has been on TV. When I started, it has been on TV for so many years. I don't even know, maybe like 15 years.
Wow.
When I got on, it was already 15 years. Now, I'm not kidding you. I think they're also in Guinness Book of Records as being on one of the longest running variety shows in the world. And it's got
Wow.
to be 35 years, if not 40.
That's
I-
hard to believe. That is a long running show.
But I love that show. I wish they had this here, because it's such a great concept, because it covers everything in one.
Yeah.
So it's like a variety show, like an hour and a half, that is aired every day except Sunday, every day. Okay.
Wow.
And it's a perfect time slot, which is from okay, I'm not going to, 12 to 1:30. It's a perfect time because that's when people are on lunch break.
That's right. It's lunch break.
Everybody watches TV. It's a perfect. So no wonder the show was probably on for so many years. It kind of makes sense, I guess. But so I auditioned, and it was the most funniest audition I've ever had because I had all these like 15 people surrounding me, and I was on stage, and they gave me this board. You know, they didn't have teleprompters, so they gave me this board, and they're like, "Okay, read this," and like Filipino, and you know their words are like crazy because they're like super long. And
Yeah.
then you know how you have when you say singing, you have the ng at the end, right?
Oh,
Singing,
right.
or
Yeah.
what
Singing. Yeah.
the ing. So ng is at the end. So imagine having this in the front of your sentence or front of your word.
Oh boy.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Like
That would not end well for me.
it was so hard. So they gave me like the hardest word. They were laughing at me, obviously, you know, and I felt like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna do it. Then they made me dance by myself. I was like, I don't have a choreography. I mean, you put me on the spot. I didn't know what I was doing, what I was
Yeah.
supposed to. So I was literally dancing by myself, being watched by 15 people. It was the most ridiculous thing ever.
That'd be hard.
Yeah, so they laughed at me. I was like, okay, you know, I guess, you know, it is what it is. And the next day she calls me and she's like, hey, you got signed. 3-year 3-year contract. I got signed.
Wow.
And that
That's
was
pretty. You must have danced really good.
I don't know what I was. I think it was also like being, you know, like I was being myself, natural, but I think
Yeah.
also the reading, and they thought it was really funny. And they also considered me more of you know, I kind of look, I mean, Filipinos have a little Spanish in them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sometimes ask me if I am Latin or if I have a background. I get
Yeah.
that a lot. I get, you know, depending
Yeah.
on my hairstyle, I get like, I get Colombian, I get,
Some of your modeling pictures for sure.
oh
You
yeah, yeah,
you can
especially
see
when
it
I have
in
my curly hair,
the
like
curly hair. Yep.
I look Brazilian, Colombian, I can look Italian. What else? I can look anything but maybe where I'm really from. So I was
Well,
like,
you're a chameleon. I've heard you're a chameleon.
yeah. I mean, at some point, you know, throughout the years while I was there, I was also considered Filipino, half Filipino. So they made me half Filipino, like a household
Yeah.
name. So I'm like, I'm just going to be whatever you want me to be. That's fine. If you want me to be Filipino, I'll be Filipino too, you know, because at some point it did develop that little slang that they had.
Yeah.
And I sounded like a Filipino, like a
Yeah.
Filipino.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Yeah. If
Yeah.
if you're that adept at picking up languages, I'm sure once you were there for a little while, you
Oh
did
yeah.
start
I mean,
picking up
you
some
have,
of them.
you know, listen, if you know, you're talking like 24/7 with Filipinos, and I mean, they speak English, but a lot of them don't,
Right.
and you have to learn. So it's normal. It can have, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm
That.
very good at adapting. I'm good with adapting, you know, to a country, to a new country, to their mannerism or their culture or their language. So
Yeah.
that was always my thing, and I love that. And I always feel like, you know, when you go to a country, you should respect the country and, you know,
Well,
their
for
law
sure.
and whatever. You know, you can't just come in and be like, oh, I'm just gonna do because this is how I am in my country. You can't do that. And I don't, you know, I don't suggest people doing that. You
That's
need to
right.
respect the
You
country.
absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree with that. You have
Yeah,
to respect the
yeah, so
country.
you have to, I mean, there's, you know, um and yeah, so that was it. And then I started, you know, my 3-year contract. I got a 3-year contract. That was really nice. I was excited. I signed with her. She was my
Yeah.
manager. And then I had, I think, like about 3 months into the show, they actually gave me like this little segment because she noticed that the ratings were going up higher and people love to watch
People
me.
like you. Yeah.
But it took a while because they're very shy too, you know,
Yeah.
it's very, you know, they're Catholic, so they're very shy. And
Right.
it took them a while to get to used to me as the way I look, because they thought when I was on stage, they thought I was like untouchable. They thought of me, oh my gosh, she's this like rich princess, you know, like, oh. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this is not what I want. I want people to like me. I want them to come. It's like, you know, I want them to feel comfortable with me.
Sure.
So I was thinking, I was like, what do I do? You know, I really have to study myself. It's like, how do I make them like me and be comfortable with me? It's because I have to, I'm staying in this country, you know, and I'm going to work
That's
more.
right.
So I literally started doing some funny stuff, which was kind of stupid too, but I did it. So, so the show, as I said, is a variety show, and they have comedy skits in it. They
Yeah.
have people who come and sing, singers. Then they have dancing. Then they have like a
Yep.
little game show, and then they have hosting. So it's all in one, which is
That's awesome.
it's awesome, right? It's a great concept. So they have this funny thing where they're literally like having this singing contest, and I'm not a singer, okay? So I can't sing. I wish I can, but I can't. So they have this singing contest. So if you, so they have this couple singing. They put in a song, and you have to sing this like particular chorus. And if you don't get it right, you get a cake thrown in your face.
Oh boy.
So you imagine, right? So I'm like totally screwing it up, and I get this thing thrown in my face, like whoosh. And then people started laughing. And then, you know, that's where it came. I was like, wow. So that's where I discovered I need to do comedy because
That's
it
right.
makes more sense. You know, when you, when you know, when you look at, like, how to say, people have this perception, like when you look like a model, you know, you have
Yeah.
like this attitude, you know,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you stuck up, and it's just a cliche, but that's what they're saying. So I had to get rid of that. I said, nah, this is not me, you know, I'm actually fun. And I want them to see my personality, who I really am. It has
Right.
nothing to do with my looks. So I started being a comedian, and I didn't know I had that in me. I was just being natural. And I did all this like funny skits, and people laughed, and the ratings was skyrocketing. And then the producer was like, oh my God, I need to give her a segment because this is so cool. You know, we're making
Yeah.
money. And that's when I got a little segment. It was called Ooh La La Lana. And it was a, it was a dancing show. So I was like dancing, and that's when I started all my dancing. I did from hip hop to Latin to jazz to everything you can imagine. I was dancing. So,
Oh,
and that was,
that's great.
yeah, and that was like once a week. So every Thursday was like Ooh La La Lana. And from Monday to Saturday, I was on the show every day. And then about a year into it, or maybe less than a year, actually, sorry, I got all these different jobs. I got a hosting job. I was hosting for E Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was the main host for E Entertainment, and we traveled. We actually had the crew from the States coming to the Philippines, and we did this little, you know, it was like this little adventure where we had to like eat kind of like funny stuff. I don't even know what it's called, but it was like this egg where there's chicken inside, like a real
Ooh.
chicken. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh,
Ooh.
balut. I think it's called balut. It's so
Balut. Yeah. Yeah.
apparently
I
it's good, but I was like, as if you see the chicken head, I was like, oh no.
yeah. I'd have trouble with that.
Yeah, I was, but you know, that's what you do in that E Entertainment. Remember, they used to travel and they used to do
Oh
all
yeah.
that stuff. So I did that, and then I did. I was co-hosting a dance show. It was sort of like a Dancing with the Stars. So I was
Yeah.
co-hosting it with she at that time she was a famous actress, you know, very beautiful actress and model, and she was the main girl. I co-hosted with her, and then she actually left and she went to the States, and I took over. So it became like my show with my
Yeah.
co-host with the guy, and I was dancing. I was opening the show with the dance. So
That's awesome.
I had to learn a choreography, which was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I
Imagine.
had to memorize, you know, like how I opened the show, what I'm saying, and throughout the show, I had to interview people. So imagine memorizing all that. It's not easy, and you do that in one day, not in 1 week and one day.
Wow.
I had to do this. I had to be a fast learner and be very witty and then very quick with words, with things overnight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no choice. Like, so I had to, like, I went to the studio the night before. I was doing the choreography. I was learning about 2 hours, learned my dance, went over the script, went over again on set that day, and then I did it. And yeah, it was not easy, I tell you.
That's amazing. That's
But
amazing.
but you know what I feel like, to be quite honest, like I think it's a great way to do it, because you work in your brain. You know, your brain needs to work.
Right.
And the only way to do that is really when you learn it quick, when you have no choice.
Right. Right. Yeah. Under pressure is probably a good way to learn, as long as you can
Yeah,
handle
I learned a
stress.
lot on, like
Yeah.
now I learned a lot to be under pressure. I think I do much better under pressure than
Yeah. Not me. Well, Lana, so we're running tight on time, but I have to
yeah.
ask you about this one before we wrap up, and then I want to make sure everybody knows where to find you. So let me go back to my share screen. Let's see where. Oh, here we're over here. Let me switch on that. All right. I'm gonna. That's the one I want. So
Oh,
yeah,
Dylan,
you have to tell me about this.
oh, deal or no deal. So, like, going from Asia, I went straight to the States. I went to California, LA, and I got into the entertainment industry as well. Had a manager, and she got me this job. I
Yeah.
auditioned about 3 times. It was very difficult to get into the show. That's not easy like people think, because you know they don't want just beauty. They want brains. They want a great story.
That's right.
Stories that just, like, they don't want to hear, oh, I'm an actress, I did this, I was famous. They don't want to hear that. So my first time when I auditioned, I made a mistake that I said I was doing that. And what they want to hear, whether it's like, you're a humanitarian, or like you're doing, I don't know, you're doing something good for the world, or you're a doctor, or you're a lawyer, that kind of background. And
Right.
you look the way you look, that's what they want, and you're being kind and nice, that's what they're looking for. So,
Yeah.
and I got the job, and it was so much fun working with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we used to watch that show, so I'm sure I've seen you on there. That's I thought that was really cool. I like the stuff when I go back and I'm like, hey, that's that
I was
was her.
I was number 8, and it was a lot of fun. I love the show, and I love the girls. It was so
Yeah.
nice having, like, all these different girls from all over the world, different ethnicities. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's really
That's
cool.
another great concept, that was it was really exciting. And I'm sure a lot of men were actually watching the show for a certain reason, not necessarily.
I'm sure you're right.
Okay, it's all about, eye candy doesn't hurt, right?
That's right. That's right. It goes both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Well, Lana, this has been so much fun, and you have to come back, because there's so much more
oh my
that we
God,
need to talk about.
I know. You know what? I always feel like I need to write a book, because I have done so much, and I had so many experience. I went through so much. I mean, there was a lot of obstacles. There were good
Yeah,
things. Like, and also bad things.
that's
And
right. That's right. Yeah, and that's I told you I'd love to hear about some of the difficulties, because I know modeling, especially and acting too, they're tough professions. So you have to come back. We got to do this. We got to have a part 2.
okay. Oh my God, I would love to. Yes, because then we can. You know what? Maybe next time we can talk about. And I would love to. Like, for the younger generation as well.
Yes.
Women and girls who want to get into that business, whether it's modeling or like into acting or hosting, so I can give them a little advice, what they should watch out for, and what they should
Oh,
and
I'd
should.
love that.
That would be
Yeah.
really nice. I would love to give,
All
and
right,
then
it's a done deal. We're
the
doing it.
knowledge that I have, I would love to give that, for free.
Yeah, yeah. I know. We absolutely we'll do that.
If I can, I
Great.
know we have some, but if I can just, like, maybe quick, what I'm
Yeah.
doing, maybe I
Yeah,
can.
that was my next question is what are you up to, and also where can if people want to know more about Lana, where can they find you?
Okay. So where you can find me, Facebook, you can find me. I have two pages. One
Mhm.
is my personal, where you find me under Lana.Asanin.
Yeah,
I did send you also all the information, but I have a
you
fan.
did, and we'll put that up with the
Okay, I have
when
a
we post for sure.
I have a fan page, and you can look me up. That's where I use the green-eyed assassin.
Yeah, I
That's
like that.
And you can look me up on Instagram, Lana_Asanin.
Yeah.
I'm on YouTube. So basically, just punch in my name, and then you see like YouTube, Twitter. I'm not so much on Twitter, to be honest. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't tweet.
Yeah.
I do. I rather do TikTok.
I know you're really good on TikTok.
Oh my god, I love TikTok. It's so much fun.
I'm guessing that your variety show background helps you with TikTok.
Oh yeah, you should. I mean, like I have so many great things. I don't know next time, but I'm like I'm doing Lucille Ball. That's
Oh
one
my
of my
gosh.
favorites.
Yes. Yeah, okay. We've got the next show mapped out. You're gonna give
Yeah,
advice to the next generation, and we're doing TikTok videos for
yeah.
sure.
And then I developed this other because I developed all this characters. So it's Lucille Ball, and then I have Gloria. Gloria, she's still Latina, so I have that too. That's funny. And then I'm playing a Russian girl. That is funny too. So
Ooh, yeah.
I love that. That actually showcased my talent, because people can actually see how my acting. I think it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've watched some of your stuff, and it's
Yeah.
really
But
good.
what
I
I'm
mean,
also
and it's fun.
so yeah, we can do that next time.
Yeah.
So what I do, okay, so what I'm working on right now is like my next thing, my next step. I think I'm going to go back to that lifestyle, and I'm actually
Yeah.
thinking of maybe creating this new, it's like an online shopping. And because nowadays with the COVID, a lot of people don't really go out, and a lot of malls are closed. So
Right.
a lot of people go online and buy things online, and I figured I have a lot of merchandise at home that I'm selling, such as bags, shoes, clothes. So
Yeah.
I thought I'm going to do some online, like shopping thing. So I'm going to start that in the next week or so. I think that's going to be exciting because, people can see me, and, I'm talking, I'm
Yeah. I
showing,
think that would be great.
right? Isn't that better than just going online? You're like, you see it, but you don't, but if I show it to you and explain you, oh, you know what, this shoe looks like this and this material, and blah, blah.
Yeah.
Maybe I can put my foot in there too. And
I think that would be great. I love that idea.
yeah, but and the other one that I'm doing, I was going to show you here. So I don't
Yeah.
know if you can see it, but you
Yeah,
see
we can see.
these are products. Okay, so this is, so I started like work collaborating with this company Arbonne, and as an independent consultant.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I have my own website,
Oh,
actually
nice.
actually on Instagram. If you go Lana_healthy lifestyle, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
You can follow me there, and if you're interested, this is health and wellness company. We have skincare, and we have cosmetics, and it's amazing. So because a lot of people always ask me about my skin. I don't know, you can't see it right now because it's
You
all
can see
dark.
it good. You do have beautiful skin. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So, and yes, I'm using these, and I mean all these beautiful products like serum,
Yeah.
and and yeah, I mean, so if anybody's interested, if you want more information, so I don't have to talk now, they can reach me there, they can message
Okay.
me, and we go from there.
Yeah. That sounds terrific. You're so busy.
Well, you know what? That's what they call entrepreneur, right? You gotta like, you
That's
gotta.
exactly right.
I mean, literally, like with COVID, things have changed so much.
Yeah.
A lot of people are working remotely from home. Nobody's really going to the city. I don't. The city has become a little dangerous right now in New York.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
want,
no, that's right. You need to stay home, stay safe.
you need to stay safe. It's all about staying safe, and hopefully things will change. But for now, I think a lot of people have to change, their lifestyle, and then
That's right.
and go and see what they can do from home. And there's so many businesses you can do from home and online
Right.
that you don't really need to go to the office.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I definitely agree.
And isn't
Well,
it great? You can be at home and you can like, hey, you know what?
yeah.
If I want to have a drink, I can have a drink.
it, it is a little more relaxed. That is true.
Right? And then you can work and it doesn't, there's no time anymore. I lost track of time. I don't even know what day it is.
I
I don't
know.
even know what time it is. I mean, if you didn't tell me I was on for 4 o'clock, I would have forgotten already.
Well, Lana, thank you so much for coming on. This is this. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and this was even better than I thought. This
Oh
was
my
good.
God, thank you. I mean, you know, like it was so exciting and, you know, I feel it was very natural and yeah.
Yeah, no, this has been so good. Hold on one second. I'm gonna hit pause. Hang
Yeah.
on just a second. So that was the wonderful Lana, and she was just a real joy to speak to. And we had so much more that we wanted to get to, so we will definitely bring her back on. She was wonderful and so talented. That was a big one for me. I really enjoyed that. So thank you everybody for watching. You know, we appreciate your support. Please check us out on Facebook under MeisterCon. You know, if you're so inclined and want to help us out and make a donation, you can find us on patreon.com/MeisterCon. We really appreciate the support, and we look forward to speaking with you again real soon. So bye, everybody.